How does knowing opposites attract help us to grow and build and supersize our business? I'm a huge magnet fan. Being a nerdy engineer, things that are fun like Legos and building blocks and magnets in different shapes that you can build things with are awesome and fun for me to play with my granddaughters. And they remind me, magnets especially, that opposites attract and like things repel a lot of times in the physical world. And things that happen in the physical world in the life around us play out in different areas and aspects of our life. And we're focusing on, we switched gears this month in this year's annual challenge, the Get Your Goals annual challenge. We're focusing on relationships this month. And to go along with that, our idiom today is opposites attract. Well, how does knowing that opposites can sometimes attract help you to grow and build and supersize your business? This is one of those idioms that's been around since ancient times. Hercules or something, the ancient Greek philosopher, started talking about opposing forces and how they can come together. And then Plato and Aristotle made that idea even more popular, followed by lots of references in literature and poetry throughout the ages, right? Shakespeare, Romeo and Juliet. I don't have my magnifying glass. I've got a lot of other examples written down. But basically, it lets us appreciate the beauty and the complexity of human relationships when we understand that we don't have to be alike in all ways in order to be attracted. Now, a lot of times we get things like groupthink when we get a lot of people in our organization that all think the same way. It's why I am such a huge proponent for diversity. The more diverse our organization, the more we match the people that we're here to serve in terms of different characteristics and abilities and thoughts and thinking, the better we are able to help them solve problems and to serve them. Not everybody believes that, but I've come to know that that works really, really well for all of us, right? Because I know I don't think like a lot of other people, and I don't expect other people to necessarily think like me. So why would I expect the people that I serve, the customers, to think like me in most areas or aspects? We don't. So we have to put ourselves in other people's shoes in order to grow and build and supersize our business and serve the people that we're here to serve better. We live in a polar universe, you know, good and evil, hot and cold, red and white. I don't think those are opposites. Black and white. And it reminds us that just because things are different doesn't mean something's good or bad. It just means they're different. And actually, differences are what make the world work, right? If we all like the same things, the world would be a very boring place. If we all wanted the exact same things, the world would be a very boring place. So that makes room for all of us to prosper and build the businesses we want and serve people and create and make the world a better place, please, with the businesses that we create. And finally, it reminds us that what we put out into the world, we attract back in the world. Universal laws, again, I don't talk about these things very often, but they impact all of us, not just our businesses, but our lives, right? So we want to be aware of them, even if we're not consciously using them to create what it is that we want in the world. We ought to be. What we put out into the world comes back to us. You know, I didn't make that up. It's been around since all time and all humanity, that if you put good out into the world, you'll get good back into your life. Now, it won't necessarily be a one-on-one direct correlation, but the same is true if you put bad out into the world. If you don't treat people the way you want to be treated, if you cut corners and look for shortcuts and hacks and cheat codes and things. When my kids were younger, my daughter didn't play video games much, but you know, the kids always wanted you to buy, my son and his friends always wanted me to buy them the cheat code books for their video games. And I'm like, doesn't that kind of defeat the purpose if you've got the cheat codes to play the game? And now I'm sure they're all available online. But I always thought that that's not a great way. It doesn't, number one, it doesn't show good personal integrity. Number two, yeah, there's shortcuts, but are you really getting what you want? Did you really achieve that level in that game? If you had, yeah, you did, but you got the result. But how do you feel about how you got that result? And so I think that that's often more important than the results themselves. It's how do we experience the journey along the way of building and growing our business versus the actual numbers and results. Now, don't get me wrong. Numbers, cash flow, profitability is very, very important when we're building and supersizing our business. But it can't be at the expense of our morals, our values, our integrity, or other people. All right. Love to know your experience with this particular idiom, opposites attract. I've got lots of experiences with opposites attracting in my life, both personal and professional. And sometimes it's worked out really, really well because we've had complementary opposite skills and other times it has failed miserably. And those are just lessons that I needed to learn along my journey. All right, have a great day. If I can help you in any way, ask. Otherwise, I'll be with you tomorrow. Another interesting idiom. What does it mean? Where does it come from? And how might you use it to grow and build your business? Have a great day.